All right, so today we are going to make some salsa and we're going to can it. We had a lot of tomatoes that were sitting on the counter, and unfortunately, we weren't eating them quite as fast as we wanted to. So we are going to go ahead and make salsa at 7:30 at night. That's what everybody does, right? So mom is here cutting up the tomatoes and taking the bad spots out of them and just dicing them up and throwing them in the big bucket. And the scraps we're putting in the cottage cheese bucket to give to the chickens. And mom's also going to be cutting up some bell peppers, and she's just taking the insides out and putting them in the chicken bucket. Honestly, I prefer my salsa a little bit warmer, a little bit of spice. So I would be doing some jalapenos or maybe some other hot peppers that you like. Mom and dad aren't too fond of super hot salsa, so we're just doing the bell peppers. That being said, again, if you like your salsa a little bit hotter, I would go for some other kind of peppers. These are also peppers that we grew in the garden, as well as the tomatoes. Those are also from our garden, so it's like a farm to table kind of salsa. And there is mom coming back from washing them. I didn't get any footage of that, so I'm sure you know how to rinse off some peppers because she wanted to get all the seeds out. And she's just cutting them in half, big chunks, so that way when we put them in the food processor, they fit. And off camera, I also cut up some onions, but they were making me tear up, and it was just not a pretty sight, not good footage. And this is mom putting in some cilantro. If you're one of those lucky people who does not have the cilantro, I don't know what it's called, but for some people it tastes like soap. I unfortunately am one of those people. So if you like more, add more. If you like less, if you're like me, add less. It's not an exact science with this recipe. And then just toss in all your cut up veggies, tomatoes, and peppers. We put those in first just because they were on top. And if you'll notice, whenever we dump it out, it looks kind of gross. So, and you'll hear it in the next clip. It's not attractive. Like, you definitely need more tomatoes. And so don't judge it on the work in progress. It's going to be fine when you get to the end product.
Looks disgusting.
That definitely does not look good, yeah. Salsa anywhere? Yeah, I told you it was pretty gross looking. So, you can expect that color if you do the peppers and onions first, but the more tomatoes you add, the redder it's going to get, and the more it's going to look like salsa. So, just a little tip there. And if you are going to add more tomatoes, or I should say as you go and add more tomatoes, you want to go ahead and keep stirring, especially if your pot is already on. You want to make sure that they don't burn on the bottom, nothing sticks, that kind of thing, because that could definitely ruin your salsa if you have the heat up too high and you scorch the bottom of the pan and then it all tastes like burnt nasties. Nobody wants that. So anyway, yeah, just keep stirring and make sure everything's incorporated while you get that. And also, I know some people like sweet salsa. If you do, this would probably be where you would want to add your sugars to make sure it's dissolved. And if you don't, then, obviously omit that. You don't want to put that in there. This recipe isn't something written down. It's honestly, we're just throwing stuff together and going with it. A little stir, stir, stir. Yeah, we decided we needed more tomatoes just because, it's still pretty pale looking. We like ours super red. Mama blending up some more tomatoes that we just cut up. We weren't going to use them all because we wanted to use some for sandwiches and tacos and whatever else we decided to eat. But we figured, we'll probably get more off the out of the garden. So we went ahead and just put those in there. We are almost to the brim, so we're going to let this cook a little bit and then put them in the jars. We put some jalapeno juice in there. I finally was able to talk Mom into it, give it a little bit of flavor. And we put a little over 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar in there. It helps with the canning process. And right here, she also sees this big chunk of bell pepper. If you find anything like that that didn't get ground up, just pull it out. We went ahead and moved the tomatoes over on the counter just to get them out of the way, and we moved the water bath over here onto this burner because it works better with boiling water. And she's just taking out the jars and dumping out the water. We didn't have time to do a full sanitized rinse on them in the dishwasher, so this is a little hack to help you out if you are running low on time. So she's just pouring that water out and getting them, because that helps sanitize. So if you, like I said, if you don't have a lot of time, this is still an okay way to do it. And she's just dumping out. Now you want to be very careful because this water is hot. And she's using this tool. It's from Ball, I believe. I know I got one that was Ball brand at Walmart. I'm sure you can get them on Amazon. Not that expensive. She also put the lids in there because they have a little seal around them. Once they warm up, it's a lot easier to get them to seal. So that's what she likes to do. And she's just going to scoop in here to the funnel until it gets to that bottom line on the jar. And then she's going to take it and put it on the next one. And she's using this little magnet tool also from Ball. You could usually get them in a little kit and it picks up the lid. She almost forgot to do that, but you know Mama, she remembers everything. So she's going to go ahead and do this. You don't have to tighten them real tight. And if you do, I don't know what happens, but it just tighten them a little bit. It doesn't have to be super tight. And so she's going to go ahead and go on with the next one and just fill that up. And also, if you take cold stuff and put them in the hot jars, they could also crack. So I think that's another reason why Mom wanted to heat up the tomatoes first. And scoop and fill and fill and scoop. Once you're done with all that, then go ahead and make sure all the jar lids are on good. And then we're going to go ahead and just put them in the water bath. This water bath isn't designed for these thin, skinny jars. The wide mouth original jars work perfect like there, but they kind of clank. And so that's not ideal, but it is what it is. So once you get them all in there, you want to go ahead and put water and make sure it fills over and covers the top of the jars. And then you can put it on.
Oh, it's still there.
Yeah, put the lid on. Sorry. I lost my train of thought. Put the lid on, and then you can see it's on medium, and then you want to make sure it's boiling. And then once it gets there, reduce the heat a little bit and let it cook for about 20-25 minutes. And then once that's done, we turn off the burner. We let it sit for a little bit, 10-15 minutes, just to make sure everything's kind of calmed down. It's still extremely hot, so be very careful. But Mom's using this tool to pull them out. And she's also, you can see here, once she grabs them, she's trying to get the water off the top. Like, see right here, she'll try to dump it out. You don't have to, but it's just one of those, it's going to leave a film. So, and also another tip that we didn't do here, if you put a little bit of vinegar in the bottom of your water bath, it supposedly will take that film away. We haven't tried it yet, so don't come for me if it doesn't work. But that's a fun little tip there. If it works for you, let us know in the comments. But like I said, be very careful when you're taking these out. You don't want to hit them together and bust them because then it ruins all your hard work. But yeah, you go take them out and you let them sit, and you'll listen. If you listen here to the next clip, you'll hear one of them pop.
Looks pretty though.
Boom, that's the pop. That's how you know they sealed. So thanks for coming along, guys. Go ahead and make some salsa. Let us know how it turns out. Put it in your pantry for later. Thanks for coming along. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with someone who might enjoy this video.